Hello and welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly. We are bringing you Transformers news from around the world and across Australia. This is episode 266. We're recording live on Friday, December the 9th, 2022. It is our 2022 finale tonight and we have a full house. If you are listening to this a week later via a podcast app, stop it now. Actually, no, listen to the end and head over to YouTube where this podcast is recorded live and you can watch us live, or you can join the Transformers Collectors Club Australia group on Facebook and watch us live in there. This week, we will be discussing the new Transformers Rise of the Beasts movie trailer, the new Transformers Reactivate video game trailer, the new Transformers figures revealed in the past couple of weeks, and we'll check in on HasLab's Deathsaurus project as it enters its final days. All of that and more is coming up in this week's episode, which is probably going to run long after this. Hello and welcome. I'm Jason. Joining me tonight, we have, let's see, should I go east to west? No, that's going to be a problem.
It might get too confusing.
It might get a bit too confusing because we have, to be honest, I'm not really sure whether Canberra or Western Sydney is more west. Max, how are you doing coming to us from Adelaide? Save me from my lack of geography skills. How's it going?
Adelaide by default. Yeah, it's all right. It's freezing cold. Doesn't really feel like summer, but we've got Transformers, so I'm happy.
Look, you're easy to please.
I'm very easy to please. I've been on cloud nine all week.
Very good. Yeah. Going in order of person, I have seen the least recently. Daria coming to us from Canberra. How are you doing?
Oh yeah, we're doing pretty good down here. Also got a snap bit of cold tonight, but I don't even understand how it works anymore.
It's been a bit chilly in Sydney as well. It is officially summer in Australia, but I had a video call with my dad in Melbourne last night, and he was wearing a jumper. So yeah, I don't know. Now, to be clear, do you have Transformers there, and you're happy as well?
I also have Transformers. They're just not in shot at the moment, but I'm quite happy about my Transformers. Good.
We do have a comment already from the chat room asking what is written on your shirt. What have you got there? Glitter, music. No, you're gonna have to read it out.
Yeah,
glitter, music, choreo.
Glitter and choreo. Music and choreo and routines and sequins and rhinestones.
Very nice. Sounds like the ingredients for Good Friday night.
For those listening on the audio, it's written in that Helvetica X and Y and Z and etc. style. And
nice. Sounds like the makings of the Australian Powerpuff Girls.
It's one of my burlesque souvenir shirts.
Oh, very nice. Cool. Yes. The other voice that you hear there is, and the person on the podcast that I have seen most recently, as in at dinner about an hour ago, Mikey coming to us from Western Sydney. How are you doing, mate?
Yeah, no, you're talking about the weather, because today I was happily taking a dog for a walk in about 22 degree, I'd say heat. And then coming to a point this evening where we were outside having gelato and I was freezing my everything off. So yeah, it was quite cold. The weather
did turn a bit this evening. It appears that Australia is not quite ready to commit to being full summer yet, but no. Give it a chance. I think I did mention in the intro, this is the last episode of ATFW for the year. Very soon after this episode is recorded and published, I will be jetting off to the UK, and it's very difficult. It's very difficult to record a podcast in the UK because there's kids running around the house. Daria has suddenly dropped off. I don't really know what's happened there, but it's going to get very difficult to record if Daria is not with us as well. But we'll see. I'm sure Daria will return shortly and. There we go. Daria is a spinning wheel. Yep, very good. Very good. Interesting. I wonder if Daria is having internet issues down there. I mean, it is the AT. It is the ACT. The ATC. Oh, whatever.
The ATC.
I don't know. There we go. Daria's back. Welcome back, Daria. Nope.
No, nothing.
No, Daria's lagged
Oh, yeah.
horribly lagged.
What's
I mean,
happening?
I've gone a couple of years and my internet's been fixed, and now someone else had to pick up the slack.
Mm-hmm.
We lost Jason.
How are you doing there, Daria?
I'm good. I could
Oh,
see everyone
good.
except you.
Oh, that's all right. You don't really need to see me as
That's
long as you
probably
see
more
the
of a
screen share
blessing.
when it happens. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't going to go that far. Thanks, Mikey. Where's the kick button? Yes, let's in fact on that note, I might just turn my lights down slightly because like I think there is a large blur of white light coming from the side of me. There we go. It's a little bit nicer. So yeah, how are we doing? It is the last episode of the year. I'm jetting off to the UK soon. Everyone's heading into the silly season. Everyone gets busy at the end of the year. I've been busy for the last month. That's why we haven't really had that much of a podcast to talk about. Our apologies for that. But yeah, there's been a lot happen in Transformers land. There's been a few releases and a few new toys come around. Like, what has everyone been up to in the intervening month? Don't everyone
just
go at once.
Working pretty much non-stop. I've been out doing field work in Mallee, north of the Murray, and then had no reception whatsoever out there, for a couple of weeks at a time, and come back, and all of a sudden we're just getting completely flooded with news. So
yeah, it's usually being the business end of the year. It's usually a little bit quiet on new toy news, but nope, they're going at it this year. We'll see
Yeah,
what
they're
happens.
hitting us hard.
They are. We might go off. We might go off and start a little bit on the news front. We're going to move swiftly on and get to the news.
Straight into news.
Hasbro news.
That will take us into some news.
What news comes from via yonder?
Just so that everyone knows, the main topic of tonight is going to be Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. And I'm sorry, I think I may have actually grabbed this logo from the Canadian version of the website. But
Rise of the Beasts.
yeah, oh well, that's all right. We'll run with it. Local releases are going to be up first. We have the big guy. The big guy has landed in Australia, and we are talking. And, I was going to say I'll put the screen share in, but actually I'm going to bring Max up because Max, you've got the big Victory Saber dude in your hand on your desk and hanging out there with you. I'll swap that around there. Show us the big fella.
Are we getting into it now? We're going.
Yeah, let's get into it
full
now.
into it? Okay.
It's massive news. Victory Saber is here. What so you've got it. Mikey's got it. I've got it. I don't know if Daria's got it. Have you got him on order, Daria?
Yeah. In fact, I've been emailing you about him.
I haven't received emails, but that's fine. We'll talk about it. Oh, yes, that's right.
Well,
Yeah,
I've been Facebook messaging you about him.
Yes, that is right. I forget because there's a lot of people there. So you have a
We just
have a
broke the
Victory
fourth
Saber
wall,
coming.
everyone.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a fourth wall or more of a seventh. So look, all of us have Victory Saber in some form of acquisition. Mikey and I haven't opened it yet. Max has opened it. Max, give us your thoughts.
Well, he's very good.
That's excellent.
That's what we want to
Let's
hear.
move on and talk about Rise
I
of the
should
Beasts.
think so.
then.
After
Yes,
a
very
year
good.
and what has it been, 2 years and $300 or $400 for most of us? I should hope he's at least on the positive side.
At the $300 or $400 mark, he is. I'm not going to say. Yeah, he was probably slightly too much money, if I'm honest. It's it's really
Seems fair.
good, but not quite sure the value is there. But it's also good enough that I kind of don't give a shit. It's just, it's just excellent. Only if I just go into downsides real quick, MicroMasters are garbage.
I think the MicroMasters were always going to be garbage, though. Like we knew that they were just the Siege MicroMasters.
They were just a tier, they were just an extra unlockable, and
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't messed with Siege MicroMasters before, but yeah, these are they're nothing. that's okay because everything else is like, one of the negatives would be occasionally some of the panels like tend to pop off. Like if I'm moving the legs around, sometimes now it's not going to do it, but sometimes the transformation joint will engage and like it'll collapse a little bit. But it's standard fare. It's a transformer. These things happen. It's like any sort of standard, like the issues that are present are literally just that sort of stuff, which is present on every single Transformers figure ever made.
Fair, yeah.
And there are a couple of little paint flecks here and there, but otherwise, aesthetically, it is the most like late 80s, early 90s Japanese super robot thing I have ever seen. It is obscene. Like just, the color scheme
wait
on
until you
these
see
two
what's
alone.
coming next year.
Yeah. But just, everyone says he looks like a Gundam. It obviously does. Has that. That's, who it was designed by, the same guy who designed a lot of the original Gundams. But, like, it's even more so. Like, I don't really see it as that. Even it feels like a whole thing in and of itself. Like, he's this distillation of all of these design aesthetics from that time period. He's just... Yeah, it just looks like, I don't know how to describe that aesthetic. I guess you'd call it the super robot aesthetic, but he's just the perfect distillation of that.
I think that's fair, yes. Yeah.
And it's just...
But both Victory Saber and Deathsaurus, they are, sort of, they're Japanese G1, and they do sort of carry a lot of that more sci-fi based design for the robot rather than sort of being an Earth vehicle or anything like that. They're way more out there. Star Saber and it's sort of like a futuristic jet and yeah, it's a particular aesthetic and a particular look, but yeah, no, I think it pulls it off really well. The color scheme I think is the most fetching part of this. It's a brilliant basic color palette.
It looks like a toy. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't. If you look at, I don't know, just grab the closest thing to me. There's Deluxe Wild Rider, right? Like it's a toy. It looks like a toy, but it doesn't have the aesthetic of a toy. Does that make sense? It's like it's trying to represent something else. Like here's this cool, sleek red and black car, yada yada yada. Whereas here's your big, chunky, heroic robot thing. There's bright red and yellows and gold and striking blue and this big white patches and sharp angles, and you get what I mean. It has this real like I don't know how to quite nail down what that aesthetic is, but it is
nothing says hero more than red, white, and blue. So
Yeah, I was going to say he is absolutely the good guy colors.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The blue and red, as heroes often do. The white, of course, and throw in a bit of gold for good measure.
Because he's royal, he's regal.
Yeah. And like, so he just nails that aesthetic, and yeah, just visually incredibly striking. But the thing that gets me is, and Victory Leo as well, obviously. I mean, it's like a jet man that turns jet lion man covered in guns. It's
with tusks.
Ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But
I actually
really
find
classy
that,
looking.
I find that most people have been discussing like Victory Saber or the combined mode or anything, and it's been a while since I've actually seen people hold up the Victory Leo bot on its own.
Well, everyone seems to be
striking.
Yeah, well, everyone seems to be displaying him in a combined mode, and in my view, Victory
Leo,
Leo,
it's kind of there for it, right?
Yeah, but he's a really good figure. Like it's really, the only flaw ostensibly is that sometimes the leg panels will come undone, for the transformation. Otherwise, like he is thick and chunky. Like he's the size of Leader Galvatron and about the same weight. Really big, thick, clicky ratchet joints. Doesn't do a huge amount in terms of transformation, but he makes up for it, and that is just crazy poseable and has all this, different forms of weapon modularity and, obviously the classic ways to combine with Star Saber. So it's a really, for what is like, I mean, people are sort of treating as an afterthought. He's a really solid piece, and I guess that's, that's the main takeaway I had with this whole set is just like the sheer amount of engineering put into it, and the sheer amount of plastic. Like, it is a mainline transformer, right? It has the legacy branding. It fits in nicely with that aesthetic. It functions like a modern generations figure, but it's not a separate thing above that. It's not, it's not like trying to be a masterpiece. It is a generations figure, but it is just, they've just packed so much more in. Like the fact that, here's a mainline Transformers figure, and, for the first time ever, really, he has dedicated butterfly joints in the shoulders, there's a dedicated ab crunch, there's all this articulation, all these little bits of engineering. Transforming him is, ostensibly a really simple process, but just everything clicks together so rock solidly. It's like, I guess the way I'd best describe it is it's a collector's piece. Like, there's no question it is a very premium, very fancy feeling collector's piece, but it makes you feel like a little kid playing with a toy again. There's just this sense of, oh my God, this is so fucking cool. That's really what it comes down to. It's just like, you mess around with it, and it is genuinely just fun.
It looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's just fun is really all there is to it.
How tall is the figure? Just now you got it in person.
So he's about like, I don't actually know.
How many Wild Riders is he?
Okay, so
it's like it'll be like you measure horses in hands. Let's measure Victory Saber in Wild Riders.
So that's next to each other. So yeah, it's about 2 Wild Riders tall.
Two Wild Riders and some shoulder spires.
That's next to a standard can of beer. Like, I can't depth of field on the camera. So that's about his size, and he gets to, in full combined form, he gets to about Siege Jetfire's height.
Yeah, cool.
So he's like, fully combined. He's still not quite as big as that Commander class figure, but he's a lot denser, and there's a lot more engineering going on.
Yeah, he's about the size I was expected, maybe a centimeter or 3 bigger, and I'm pretty pleased with that. I haven't got mine in my hands yet, but yeah, I'm now, at least partly based on your review and some of the pictures I've seen now people have got, I'm thoroughly looking forward to the man.
Actually, you know what he feels like? He's about the same size. He feels like a Unicron trilogy / early movie line leader class figure. That's what he feels like.
That's a good toy right there, if that's what it feels like.
Yeah, and obviously significantly more expensive than those things were because times have changed, but also, it captures that same feeling.
I was wondering if I have mine out of the shipper box. I was wondering if we want to just quickly take a look at the box and how it presents itself as you take it out, just real quick. Just because I have it right here.
Oh, you've got that ready to go?
Yep. Mikey's about to pick it up.
Yeah, sweet.
I will just say, like, the volume of stuff that's shipped, like, it's a 2 kilogram transformer. It's pretty much the first time we've seen such a big and heavy transformer that isn't Unicron. The box, as Mikey's holding up, is especially nice. Like, when I'd seen the photographs of this, I thought that it was a glossy outer sleeve, but it's actually not. It's a fairly matte designed outer sleeve. There's sort of a glossy attachment to it where the artwork's been stuck on, but it's very, very nice. And I love that red foil on the Transformers logo on the edge.
It's a very nice sleeve.
Have you done the reversible thing with it?
Yeah, so I've noticed that. So you get this, weighs about, again, Jason said 4 kilos. So you just take the sleeve off. And then, as Max said, the sleeve can actually be unfurled, and inside, I don't know if you can see that, there's some Victory.
Oh, yeah. So I had seen those pics of the box. Okay. How do you actually undo it? Is it just tabbed in on one of the edges?
I'm going to do it. Yeah, I don't want to break it.
It's a bit nerve-wracking. Like,
okay.
I've only done it once.
I've got it. Here we go.
You've got it?
Yeah.
And this is kind of a nice surprise given
Mikey's gonna destroy his outer sleeve live on the
you go.
podcast for us.
Oh, wow.
given the
Wow.
generation selects, and from what I understand, even Unicron came in the brown cardboard with the stuff printed on it. That this has gone all the way. That's pretty sweet.
It's got some pretty cool looking artwork there. Big picture of the combined mode and the combined jet mode and everything. So that's a nice
and
little
that
display
is
option.
straight out of 1980 something.
Yeah, it looks like to be a very good sort of retro style box display.
You've got your instructions with, it looks like stickers. Have you applied whatever these stickers are, Max?
No, so they're so he uses a mix of ABS and POM plastic. So a lot of the like really important structural joints. So if you see like top down there, a lot of his grey and blue pieces here, which are where the armpit joints are and a lot of the transformation connectors, they're a harder POM plastic, and they in hand it feels really, really subtle, like it's a well put together thing. But what I didn't realize is that stuff doesn't paint too well. So the rest of the figure is covered in paint. But on Victory Leo, this front part of the wings is an ABS plastic, whereas his larger sections on the back, this is a POM, from what I understand.
Right.
And so they could, from what I understand, I could be wrong about this, but this is harder to paint. So when they've left in 2 red stickers so that you can replicate this red detailing here on the back.
Oh, so you've not done it?
No, I never put stickers on because I'm always terrified of throwing it up.
I'm very similar. I never put stickers on anything there either.
So
Mikey, you want to give us the outer box look here?
So it's just a red box. I think I just got your standard things on the bottom and Victory on the top. Then you're greeted by this this poster card. It's just a nice little piece of cardboard that has.
Oh, that is cool. Yeah.
So you got Deathsaurus up here, which was our sneak at our next HasLab project, and then you got Star Saber and Victory Leo and the 2 little MicroMasters that no one gives a shit about. But that's pretty cool. You can put that on your wall, I guess. That's another. You got lots of display pieces with this set, and then you have your. I guess this whole tray wouldn't have been included if we all didn't band together and fully back this project. So. This first tray, I'm guessing, was probably not going to be included if we didn't. So you've got your shield, your flight stand. Actually, the guns are part of the toy, and there is the sword. So yeah, but yeah, that's mostly all of the
So it's an inner tray with all the accessories on it, and when you remove the inner tray, you get the bots underneath it, right?
Yeah, so inner tray, which you just remove, and very nicely presented, I think. Your lovely. 2 robots. So you've got Victory Leo, Star Saber, and your 2 MicroMasters. They're just held in by your typical plastic straps. You also do have your cannon with the large cannon, which is also, which was a unlocked tier as well. But yeah, the reason why I was keen to have a look at this was just because we have heard some unfortunate stories of people having QC or paint errors on their figures, whereas mine, just taking a quick scan.
It's the moment of truth.
It is.
I will pick that up there. So I would say that there's been a larger than I would say is pleasant or expected or good to see number of people who've complained about issues with their figures, and some of the issues are sort of flaky paint. Some of them is some damage from the plastic ties holding the figure into the box, which I think on the balance of it is probably a poor decision. There's also been some just blue paint splotches that seem to have been spread across some of the legs of the figure. I think that's quite unfortunate. We saw a terrible one from Brody Jaxius in the TCCA Facebook group this week. And
was that the one where it just looked like someone had scribbled pen over his leg?
Yes.
Oh God! Imagine paying as much as you did for this and receiving that. That's not on. That's my big fear. It's just opening this up and look, this thing that I paid almost, $400+ for is defective and right out of the box. So I can
So,
see. Look, this. Sorry, just before we go on, this is probably a bad idea. They probably could have put like a bit of tissue paper or something over this because you've got this kind of painted chrome part or whatever it is here on the chest, and there's two of the plastic straps going over that.
The most common defect I think I've seen is those plastic straps actually rubbing the chrome off.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
It's
That's
where those
what
things
that's
overlap.
from.
And also,
I've
and
seen the results.
Because it's
So
on
both-
both figures.
both figures have the X kind of straps across their chest, and they both have chrome. That's probably pretty poor on their part, because I can see that's.
Yeah, I think it's a.
I've just noticed
I think
something.
it's a poor decision. Yeah.
Okay, I have some. It's not the end of the world, but I've got on. I don't know if you'll be able to see on my Victory Leo. There is some gold paint splotch near his chest thing, but it's like, yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, if that's the worst thing that I have on this thing, then I'll count myself lucky.
Yeah, look, it's an interesting question. It is a far more expensive transformer than we're used to seeing, and I do think that there's an expectation from people that it doesn't carry issues that we're used to seeing on cheaper transformers. People will often rationalize QC issues and say, well, it's a $30 figure. Well, this one's a $400 figure, so you kind of don't expect there to be. You don't expect there to be notable QC problems. The fact that things are leaving the factory with paint splotches and the like across them, it's a bit of a concern. It is on Hasbro to actually look at the figures before they go out, and you sort of get the feeling with the number of issues that people are raising that some of the quality control and the inspection on those things might be taking a bit of a nosedive. And it might also be, I feel like it's a bit of a rush because I think they wanted to get this out for Deathsaurus. That is a misstep if that's true, and it's an entirely an own goal on Hasbro's part because the Deathsaurus campaign could have waited until Victory Saber was ready to go. But we are where we are, and I will just note that if you do have issues with these guys, I mean, if you're in Australia, you've probably gotten them from EB Games. Take it up with EB Games and see what they can do for you. I think it's probably time that we move on from Victory Saber and get back into some of the news cycle and the local release news. We did start off by saying Victory Saber is the big release at the moment. Very quickly, I'll run through some of the other stuff that's come out in the intervening month. Studio Series Wave with Hot Rod and Crosshairs, The Fallen and 86 Rumble and Dark of the Moon Laserbeak. That is out at a number of retailers. I think it's in Big W stores. I think it's in JB Hi-Fi stores. We've also seen Legacy Wave 3 Deluxes hit Australian retail at I think Kmart. They've turned up at, and the Micro Machines bases that we've heard about in the last little while. There's a Bumblebee and an Optimus Prime base that have a bunch of little Transformers themes cars that come with them. They are available at Big W. So if Micro Machines is your jam, you're going to be pretty happy with these figures.
They look pretty cool.
Heading overseas, the big news is this week, Legacy Evolution, which is the second year of Legacy. Wave 1 is out in Asia. So we're talking deluxes, Needle Nose, Hot Shot, Scrap Hook, and the final Stunticon in Breakdown. That's your deluxe wave. And the big news for Legacy Evolution Wave 1 is the Voyager Tarn figure. Probably one of the most desirable Transformers that I've seen in the last couple of years. Huge release. Tarn is amazing. Oh, and Leo Prime's also out, but yeah.
Who cares?
Oh, and Leo Prime.
Look, it looks amazing for a low combo Leo Prime, but like,
it looks fantastic. It's just
we've had plenty of those type of figures. We've never had a Tarn. Well, we have had Tarn figures, but they've never been able to transform. And I've always found that a bit of a sin because Tarn is the guy that's known to transform so regularly that he burns out his own T-Cog, and then he goes and kills people and steals theirs and puts them in him. So the fact that we haven't had an actual transforming Tarn until now is pretty crap. But it's good that we've got one that looks this good. So, happy.
It looks fantastic. I think it's going to be one of the highlights of the year, and it's coming out really early. Before we move on to movie news, I do want to, because we already talked a little bit about Victory Saber, I do want to check in on Deathsaurus. Deathsaurus is the HasLab project that it's Victory Saber's companion, his equal and opposite, and he is 3 days away from being funded, or from being from the completion of his campaign. It's currently at 15,000 backers. It is funded. Its target was 11,000 backers, so we're definitely getting a Deathsaurus. It's at 15,617 backers, and it needs to get to 17,000 in order to get the throne, which I'll bring up the picture of the throne here if I can find it, and I can't. So never mind. The throne
if you scroll down, he'll be there. Yeah,
the throne will be down here somewhere. So 17,000 backers. Now I do think that with 3 days to go and at 15,600 backers, I think there's
15,600.
Yes,
it was at like 4,900 last night. Yeah, bloody oath, we're going to get it. Far out.
Do you mean 14,000?
Yeah. What did I say?
4,000.
Okay, yeah, okay. If it was at 4,000, then wow, people really picked up. No, it was at 14,000, I think 900 when I checked it last night, and then it's picked up by 700 since then. 700. So
yeah, look, I mean,
wow.
you do often see a last minute rush at the end of a crowdfunding campaign. So I think this is fairly guaranteed to hit 17,000. Looking forward to it. The throne is there at 17,000. The throne certainly looks weird, but whatever.
It looks cool. It's the Emperor of Destruction's little chair,
flesh couch.
Flesh couch, yeah.
I can
flesh
dig it.
couch.
Slouch.
Yeah.
Look,
I actually really like the bow and arrow weapon as well.
Yeah, the bow and arrow mode. That's the little tiger's weapon mode. I'm just ecstatic that it reached the living metal destroying cannon phase, which is the first tier. That we get the mace and the living metal destroying cannon. Oh, it's such a weird name.
Yeah, the cannon looks absolutely fantastic.
It's crazy, and it can be transformed in different ways, and you also get the blast effects. But the giant robot chicken monster can carry a gun now, which is every little boy's dream, I guess.
Now I have a machine gun. Ha ha.
Now we can go fight Godzilla, but have an advantage.
Now I can see the dino chicken off the gun. There we go.
The dino chicken Godzilla thing. But yeah, he's got the mace. He's got the living metal destroying cannon. It looks amazing. Blast effects. So I'm just happy that we got to this. It's only just a bonus if we get the throne, because although I do think we will get it.
Rob says
please don't let the Chickensaurus thing be the gun be the thing that changes my mind. I don't want to be that person.
Rob says the chair is there simply for the catbot to sleep on.
Yeah. And the bird to perch on. The bird can actually the bird breast partner, whatever they're calling it. They're not calling them breast partners anymore. They're now called chest partners.
Chest masters.
Chest
masters instead of breast masters. Which
I'll put them
definitely sounds worse. That's much worse.
Yeah, I'm putting them next to Slug.
Yeah.
But the little bird can perch atop the chair, which is pretty cool. And again, you can have the little cat dude just chill out on the chair, whilst Deathsaurus looks angrily at him as he wants to sit there. So yeah. But he just looks great.
Yeah, very, 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 very much looking forward to getting this guy. Also, just like Victory Saber, don't really know much about the source material. May learn, may not, but we'll have a fun time tracking the project over the next year or so.
I feel like once this is all said and done, I'm going to have spent nearly $1,000 on victory figures, so I should probably watch it.
Probably watch it at some point. Yes, that's right.
It's the intro is really fun. The intro song is quite a fun song, the victory song. So you should at least check that out.
Yeah, I mostly know them from Transmasters UK and IDW, respectively, where at least one of them had a very different personality.
Well, that's true.
IDW has inspired angry commenters on every single post I've ever seen about HasLab Star Saber.
Well, I was also
Is it-
thinking of the Transmaster Star Saber, because I was into their stuff for ages, their semi-official fiction, and in that he becomes like I won't make a real world comparison, but he becomes the cult of personality, then just the dictator of Cybertron in one of the near future story eras.
Are you saying he might be Elon Musk?
Okay, that wasn't where I was going to go.
No, he's far too competent for that.
Yeah, fair.
Are these people angry because Primus hates them?
Why not? Okay, all right. I think it's enough with the crowdfunding for now. By the time the next episode rolls around next year, we will know the precise number at which this crowdfund ended at. But I'm pretty confident at this point that it's going to smash that 17,000 figure limit. Which means it is time to go back to talking about Rise of the Beasts, which was our headline for tonight. We're now 36 minutes into the show and we haven't talked about Rise of the Beasts at all.
It's been a big week. It
has been a big week. So we've had the Rise of the Beasts trailer for about a week now, and we've had time to digest it and think and sit on it. And so I'm not even sure really how to come at this. Like, I think every single person who's watching the show has probably watched the trailer. Paramount has actually said that this trailer has outperformed all of their other trailers. Their previous record holder for like most watched trailer was Top Gun Maverick. How well Top Gun Maverick went.
Yeah.
And this has actually, in terms of trailer performance, I mean, performance of a trailer is not really. It's not indicative of much of anything, really. It's like more people watch this video on YouTube and where it's not monetized, so yippee. But it does sort of give you a bit of an indication of the interest that's out there
the hype
for the movie.
So you're telling me out of
it's the most successful trailer that Paramount's ever had online.
Oh, even more than any of the previous Transformer films as well.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's impressive. Well, it's the thing, people, I've been reading the comments because those views have been held by me because I've watched this like 7 times an hour, like 7 times an hour each day. So I adore this trailer. So
I'm just getting an update from Paramount. They've deduped the traffic and it's now fighting with trolls for popularity. But yeah, after they've removed your views from it.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you. So it's for that comment before. I watched this. I've been watching reactions to this trailer because I like seeing people's thoughts on it and stuff. And YouTube famous Transformers YouTube reviewer Sixo and also podcaster did a great breakdown of this trailer, which I really enjoyed, and he's been the most thorough one so far. But yeah, as we're going to talk about, it's just a really fun trailer, and there's quite a bit to talk about.
Look, I don't want to just sort of like go through and recap what's happening in the trailer. As I said, I think everyone's watched it. I don't think running a recap of the trailer is really that useful. And I'm just going to sit here and just tab through stills while we talk about it. The best thing that I've heard in terms of happiness for this trailer is that it's wall-to-wall Transformers. Like the Michael Bay movies they had a lot of human stuff in them because they saved the budget, and they didn't have to spend so much having on-screen Transformers. This trailer is all Transformers all the time. We've seen new characters introduced, we've seen new alt modes introduced. There's a lot of stuff going on. We've got a good amount of Autobots on screen. We know who the main Autobot cast is as a result of this. The still that's up at the moment, I love the fact that we actually have finally remembered that Mirage can do holograms here. Very cool. Very cool. Possibly less cool when he kills the cop who's chasing him by head-on collision, but we'll see.
That is funny that you mentioned that, because I heard
ACAB.
I heard Mirage being described as Mirage is in Jazz's alt mode with Hound's abilities. because technically holograms was Hound's abilities and Mirage's was like turning invisible, but like it totally makes
it's right there in his name. It's Mirage, not invisible.
yeah, but no, I'm saying it totally makes sense that he can do this. You know, it's not
it's in his way original bio that he could project other hymns.
Yeah.
Okay.
And appear to be.
Yeah, so it's not just random holograms. It's himself. But yeah. I'm going to stop on this one because I know Mikey definitely wants to speak to this speak to this shot.
I've seen a lot of reactions to this trailer, and to all the Transformers fans that I've seen that have watched this trailer said that this is their favorite part of the whole trailer. And just seeing Bumblebee for the first time meet up with Cheetor and them just driving and running together is just this is the first time we see Cheetor, see what he looks like. And Bumblebee in his new bizarre off-road Camaro mode thing. It's just a really, really cool it's really cool scene, and just to finally have quite impressive Beast Wars representation. And it was quite funny. There was this. If people have been watching the new Netflix show Wednesday, the main actress is called Jenna Ortega, and she was talking about the trailer. She's just like, "Oh yeah, it's really cool. It looks really cool. Beast Wars is awesome." And it's like, "I really hope Rat Trap's in it." I'm just like, "Oh, how cool! This famous person knows who Rat Trap is and what the Beast Wars are." So
one of us. Yeah,
exactly. So.
Wednesday Adams is one of us.
Wednesday Adams is one of us, which kind of makes sense. It's exciting, and it's this frame right here would just be really cool wallpaper because it just sums up it just shows, I don't know, just the awesomeness of the awesome evolution of Transformers. From classic Bay to Beast Wars, and it's just. I love it. I just think it's stunning.
Speaking to this frame in particular, there's a couple of things that have stood out to me as I've sort of been stepping through these frames. It's less obvious when you watch it as a sort of a flowing video with a frame rate, but when you look at it on a sort of an isolated still here, you can really see the fact that car is not there and has been digitally inserted, which does go to one of my complaints for the trailer. Like I think the CGI is not as good as it could be, but it's also pretty simply just unfinished. But the thing that strikes me about this is that looking at that digitally inserted Bumblebee versus Cheetor, who looks like he's actually a part of the shot with motion blur and the like on him. But you can also see that Cheetor's body and the panels are not like they're not a sort of a straight up lineup, and that I think that goes to part of the supposition that we've seen in the movie that sort of the beasts are discovered sort of dormant in some of the Incan temples, and so maybe their initial appearance in the movie might actually take on some of this rock and stone.
I know what part of this is. This is their big thing about never making the cars look dirty because the sponsors don't like it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, possibly.
It is an off-road Bumblebee, so he is off-road. He should be dirty. You're right.
Yeah, but you watch in a lot of the other ones of the Michael Bay ones, and are less noticeable in Bumblebee because it's less going on. But they're in all kinds of rough and tumble, or they're out in the dirt, or what have you, and they are pristine because GM and Ford and whoever else want their product to be nice and shiny on screen.
No, yeah, you're 100% right, because literally you see 1 minute Bumblebee is on screen and he's battle damaged, and maybe one of the windows on his wing pack was broken, like his door wings were broken, and then he transforms into this perfect pristine car, and you're just like that's pretty much all of these movies, unfortunately. So that wouldn't surprise me if this trailer actually this shot actually just happens to be the shot that's actually in the movie.
I also, just sticking with the sort of like the old metal and rock sort of look, like you can see sort of the texture on Air Razor's wings and stuff here as well. it's all very pretty and very nicely done. I've actually just noticed that in this scene here, there is a transformer standing at the end of the bridge here, and I think that might be RC because we see
That's
RC
Prime,
on
isn't
this
it? A lot
picture.
of shots.
It is
Reckon it's
Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just saw the next frame after that one, like you'd see it's Prime.
Yeah. No,
And
no,
people
that's-
are this might I'm not sure because in the scene, air razors blowing fire at the bridge. This could be like one of those things, you know how when we first meet the Maximals, the Autobots are probably going to fight them because they're probably going to perceive them as a threat. So they're probably going to have this, battle, just be like blah blah blah, and then that comes to that point in the trailer where Primal's like, "Hey, look, I'm not the enemy," and then they're friends. So maybe that's at the point where Air Razor's actually trying to fight the Autobots, possibly because it looks like she's blowing fire at Mirage as he's going over the bridge. But
maybe.
who knows?
Yeah. Lovely look at the design for RC here. A very G1 RC design,
Faithful,
but also
yeah.
very faithful to what we saw in the Bumblebee cartoon. Sorry, in the Bumblebee Studio Series line as well. So I bet Hasbro is very happy that they put the effort into designing that RC figure that is on shelves everywhere around the country. Because I think once this movie comes out, it's going to fly off those shelves. I think
I hope it does because there's so many of them.
There's a lot of them. This shot here, this is one of the shots that this is one of the shots that just doesn't do it for me, and I've been shouted at for just looking at this and just going, like, it's kind of shit CGI, like it's not composited properly and everything. Like the road is fake, the vehicle is fake, the robot shock horror is fake, the explosion's fake.
No,
it's like what's actually real in this shot? I don't know. It may as well just it's all computer animated. It's clearly not finished. It's not how it will look in the full movie, I'm sure. So fair enough, but yeah, people have shouted at me for.
I love that scene, man. I just think it's so cool.
Look, when it comes to the CGI, the way I see it is, you said earlier, Jason, that the trailer is just wall-to-wall robots, right? And, in the older Bay films particularly, it's pristine, incredible CGI for the robots, but they are also just not on screen very much. So I don't know, it may just be a smaller budget, but if there is a trade-off to be had between, slightly jankier CGI versus having
More
the actual
Transformers,
robots on
fair
screen
enough.
more, I'll take that trade-off. Yeah,
No,
question.
I think that's fair as well. I think whoever's writing the movies probably needs to be free to write Transformers movies rather than human movies with Transformers in them as well.
Can I also say, you touched on this before, Jason. If you look at all of the previous trailers, including the trailer for Bumblebee, especially the first couple of trailers we got for that, you'd notice that they were heavily focused around the humans and Haley Steinfeld's characters, Sam Witwicky, and whatever the hell Marky Mark was.
He was just Mark Wahlberg.
It was literally they just got Mark Wahlberg into being Mark
Transformers
Wahlberg.
with Mark Wahlberg.
With Mark Wahlberg was the title. Those trailers focused heavily around those humans, and so far, this one trailer that we have so far, it's a massively long teaser trailer, and it had so much in it for a teaser trailer, which is great because we've been hungry for media on this for ages. There's hardly any humans, so that's already like a big plus in my book. And as Max said, I honestly have zero issue with the with any of the CGI. Like, call me dumb or like not well versed in how CGI is supposed to look. I think it all looks fine, and like I'm happy for it to not look, as good as the previous movie, like 100% to the previous movies.
I'm
if we get
happy
more
for it
robots,
to not look as good as good as the previous movies if we get them on screen more often. We did actually get a lot of Transformers, like a lot of on-screen action from like Bumblebee, Dropkick, and Shatter in the Bumblebee movie, but there was a lower number of Transformers, but they were on screen for longer than we have seen in the previous thing. So if it's following in those footsteps, then yeah, fair enough.
yeah. And
The
unlike
other thing,
the previous,
yeah.
Sorry, just quickly. Unlike the Michael Bay movies, in the Bumblebee movie, we actually got some character from the Decepticons. Like, we actually got to know them a bit better, and we got like a lot more from them. And they actually did more, other than go blah blah blah, blah and just spit on people and make pee on people and all that crap. So yeah, I think it's I like villains, so I hope and we've got a really cool villain coming up in Scourge, who's voiced by the awesome Peter Dinklage. So
that's what he's doing.
yeah, so Peter Dinklage is
I
voicing
knew
this
Peter
guy.
Dinklage was doing something, but not what.
Yeah, so he's the main bad guy, which he's just got such a. Peter Dinklage has an amazing voice. Let's just all be honest. He's got a great voice, and I think it'll be a very menacing and
are you
powerful
expecting him
Scourge.
to sound like Tyrion Lannister, or are we thinking something more?
I think he's going to be it's just going to be a really powerful, evil voice. And he's just got I don't know. I just really, I loved him as Tyrion. He was in something
remember how
else.
deep his voice was in Infinity War.
Yes, exactly.
I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, he was the giant, like the big dwarf.
The giant dwarf.
character?
Yeah, I think they
It was. Well, the character in the comics is a literal dwarf, like little tiny man, but they were like, that would be offensive, so they made him giant.
So they made him giant, which is fair.
Yeah.
Worked
better actually in the end.
Yeah, I'm excited to see his debut, and I think there's some really cool voice actors that we have coming along for this movie. So yeah. Anyway, Max, go on.
Yeah, it's just on the topic of, the amount of shots featuring the Transformers versus the humans. The other thing is the actual composition of the shots themselves. What really got me, I think, the last night was particularly egregious of this, was that every single conflict between the robots, every single interaction happens in the background. If you go to the final act of that movie, there's this whole fight scene that happens between a few of the Autobots, like Megatron fighting half the cast all at once, and it entirely happens in the background. You get these little glimpses off behind Mark Wahlberg's shoulder of Hot Rod fly kicking Megatron, but it's blurred out in the background. And it's like that for the entire film and the film's proceeding.
I have to admit, I blurred that out of my memory, but yeah.
Yeah, what is
it just
movie
really
are you talking about? There's
last
in the
night.
Movie. What? No, I don't.
Is there a silent X in the title? I'm not sure.
Last night.
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, I don't know that one. Yeah, no.
Sorry.
In all fairness, you probably couldn't see it anyway.
Sorry, new movie. Who dis?
But the point is, here, it's every single shot we're seeing. Here's the robots front and center. Except for this shot where the humans are center, but robots there visually.
Except for the tiny part where they are.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Here's a clear look at the cast and what they are doing. It's not. Here's your Transformer, off blurred out in the background doing something cool, but you can barely see it. It's no. Here's what you came here to see, and there it is, right on screen in front of you.
Yeah. Let's look. I think we've spent a while reacting ourselves to the Rise of the Beasts trailer. Let's try to bring it to a bit of a close. Does the Rise of the Beasts trailer make you more excited for the movie? I feel like the answer is yes. Daria, what do you reckon?
Definitely a yes. Certainly, I am more excited about this than I was the last handful of Bay films. I definitely see some connective tissue with Bumblebee, which I thought was a great improvement on that film that may or may not have existed. We just didn't speak of. So yeah, so far so good on this one. I mean, I'm still at the live-action Transformers film. Take it with a grain of salt till I see it, thanks to Mr. Bay and friends. But I'm conditionally excited. How's that?
Yeah, fair enough too. Max, how about yourself?
Yeah, I've got little nitpicks, if you a lot of little things Prime looks weird. He just looks weird. Every character seems to have these arm tube guns, which are just kind of odd looking. But otherwise, of the arm tubes.
Yeah, look, I've always been a fan of a robot's arm transforming into the gun rather than holding a gun. That's just a personal thing. So the fact that Prime just does this thing where his arm just goes just transforms into a gun and it's a massive cannon, I'm just that's sick to me, and that's what I like.
It's a very personal nitpick, but I'm I've counted 4 characters that all have the arm tubes. I'm no, just stop it. Dial it back a bit, please.
Well,
Otherwise, the
notably,
other big thing is...
I'm pretty sure that with the RC seen in this shot here, I'm pretty sure RC has a gun holstered there.
Perfect. No
Excellent.
tubes present.
That's
The
a good shot
other
of it.
positive in terms of things that are and aren't present, just quickly, was I've seen no mention whatsoever of the military, which is fantastic. Just
Yeah, it's a
hopefully
nice change.
it stays that way, but you know, the first few movies really did feel like a giant go on, join the US Army, you kids. It's great fun.
Yeah, basically.
So it's quite nice to just see a complete departure from that.
I'm fairly sure that given the apparent machinery that appears to be in the background of this the sort of battle in the trailer, and sort of the scenery and stuff, I'm fairly sure that the final battle is probably set in Wakanda. That poor country just seems to have a lot of battles on its territory. But yeah,
They're coming from the water now. They're coming from the sky.
Yeah, Mikey, I'm gonna give you another 30 seconds to espouse
Look, I'm there opening day. If there's a midnight screening, I will be there. I'm going to see this multiple times with multiple different people. Yeah, look, I love Beast Wars. Been a fan of that for ever since I found out it was a thing. I watched it all, and the fact that Optimus Primal looks very much like what I would think a movie Optimus Primal would look like. Cheetor, from what we can see, looks like a Cheetor that I would think would be in this type of universe. Rhinox looks amazing. Air Razor looks great. So I think they look faithful to it's just a big robot gorilla. And people have called comparisons to Beast Machines even, because it's more techno-organic mixing, some hair.
That seems
places.
Fair. Yeah.
Places with hair and then metal meeting. It's like a combination. And
it is a bit body horror. Like
it's
torn chunks of flesh.
That's the thing, we're also not, these aren't like, and that scale with Transformers and especially these movies is never on. But these guys aren't, this isn't the size of an ape. This is more the size of a, one of the robots. And the cheetah isn't the size of a cheetah. The eagle is definitely not the size of a regular eagle. Because I think they're stepping away from them. I think the whole reasoning behind that would be like, they obviously came to Earth at a point in time where there was no humans, just animals and, dinosaurs and stuff, if we're bringing the Predacons in. And they didn't have to, scale themselves, too accurately, because the indigenous life forms would be like really, just like, why are you so big? And I don't think it would have worked if they, if Optimus Primal was the size of a gorilla, like small. So I'm kind of glad they went with, kind of King Kong as
you say a gorilla is small. Have you ever been face to face with one?
I've seen one, but I also know that they're absolutely not the size of a semi truck. So
fair enough. There is also a good size comparison in the trailer, which there might be a shot here. You can see a human standing in front of him as he lands in the in the water.
Gorillas aren't that big. That's King Kong territory, which Optimus Primal and Megatron were loosely based off King Kong, and because he fights a T-Rex and everything. But yeah, I'm really excited for this movie. I have a theory that Bumblebee might not make it through the movie, especially since we actually see Scourge absolutely skewer him in the trailer, just straight up, and as we know, I'm not going to say that because it's a spoiler to Black Panther, but as we know, even some humans can survive this type of situation. So, at least in movies.
I mean, we have seen Bumblebee completely break himself apart and reform.
That is true, but no, we haven't, because that media doesn't exist. But if we look at this...
Well, there's theories about that now that we can get into.
Yeah. But at this scene, we see Optimus is on the ground. So, like, he's, fallen to whatever Scourge is doing. So we obviously know Scourge is the big bad and he's, not to be messed with. And then Bumblebee sneaks up behind him, and then the Scourge absolutely just turns around and just skewers him, as we can see here. That is a blade going straight through Bumblebee. So my theory is he doesn't survive. Yeah. My theory is he doesn't survive because in a later shot, we see all of the Autobots walking together with the humans, and Bumblebee is absent. So this shot right here, where's Bumblebee?
Is that not Bumblebee in the front there?
No, that's Wheeljack. That's Wheeljack. So in this, so from left to right, we've got Mirage, RC, Wheeljack, and Prime. Now Bumblebee could be off screen right now, but this makes me think maybe Bumblebee doesn't.
Who do you think is holding the camera?
Damn, I was
Oh,
going to
true,
do
of
that.
course.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. But yeah, so that's a little bit of a theory because this movie could be resetting everything. We don't know. It's all speculation. But yeah, it's I think that'd be really interesting because Mirage seems to be the main character in this movie. He seems to be the character we see often with the human lead. And yeah, and I'm keen to have a new kind of kid appeal or main character that's not Bumblebee. So that'd be really interesting.
Wild predictions about the movie.
Wild predictions.
Who wants to go out on a limb and make a prediction?
I've already
Time,
made mine.
travel, reset, the whole thing. It's like, yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty common theory.
Time travel is not out of the question when it comes to anything Beast Wars related, right? Like, if time travel is in there and used smartly, then yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Well, Jason, Optimus Primal himself in this trailer says.
Did you say Moptimus Primal?
Optimus Primal, yes.
Optimus Prime. Yeah, he's got a new hairstyle.
His famous cousin that turns into a mop. No. Optimus Primal in the trailer says, from all the threats from your past and future. So the Maximals clearly know things that the Autobots don't. So there should be time travel in this. And Max, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah, for me, there's also the thing where Stephen Cable Jr., the director, said in an interview, "Oh, we've got the Terracons in this, and the fans, well, they know what the Terracons come from, and you know what that leads to," which doesn't actually make a whole lot of sense, because the Terracons, whatever you call the Terracons, have never, have 10 million different origins, and
they're not the
things.
ones that we. Yeah, they're not the ones we affiliate with where you're going. Is what?
Yeah. Everyone's also assumed he means Unicron as the endpoint to that, when they also haven't ever really been associated with Unicron aside from the zombie ones in Prime.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's it. But I think there might have just been some, like he might have just misspoke there, or just sort of gone, well, people are going to know what I'm going to be talking about anyway, and said
maybe he's just a big Transformers Prime fan.
Yeah, maybe.
I think in the same interview that you were talking about, and I cannot remember the name of the lead actor in the movie, and I feel terrible about that. But he also said that he used to
Anthony
watch
Ramos.
Anthony Ramos said that he used to watch Beast Wars when he was growing up. So, like there's an awareness of and a reverence to the source material. So maybe it's just the source material that they're most familiar with.
So, just speaking on Terracons, if we look at what we all think might be the final battle, where we see Battle Trap, running up, and then all the Autobots and Maximals fighting right.
Sorry, I'm trying to find the pictures of Wakanda. There we go.
There you go. In the background, you see these very insect-like or very skeletal robots coming at the Maximals and Autobots. So you see those things in the background.
There's not really a good lot of them in the screen caps here, but
if you go to the other screen cap story, the screen caps,
they're thought to be the prime Terracons, so like the actual zombies brought back to life, and actual zombies, in a Transformers movie. So we might actually have zombie Terracons as and to me, Battletrap already looks very, his face is just a glowing red thing, so he just like he could just be the leader of the zombie bots,
he's
along
already
with
halfway to undead.
Yeah, he probably already is dead. He's probably been brought back
to life.
He looks
bloody evil. That's great.
He looks amazing, and I just pray we get some characterization out of him, because him and Nightbird, I think, could just be really cool villains. But it looks like we're going to have an army of the undead versus Maximals and Autobots. So that'll be our final battle, in what I think.
Oh, it's definitely going to be interesting to see where we go plot wise. There's a couple of things that I will throw out that I've heard. I've heard that there's a lot of Beast Wars characters in this movie. Like we've seen maybe 4 or 5. I've heard that there's a lot. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that they all have voice cast or they've all got speaking roles, but a lot of them could be background characters. I mean, in the trailer here, like what have we got? We've got obviously there's Cheetor. We've seen there's Rhinox, there's Primal and Air Razor, but we are also hearing that there's a lot more characters in there as well.
Someone called Reek, apparently.
Yeah, and Stratosphere,
Yes.
Stratosphere by John DiMaggio. Apparently Stratosphere is literally the giant jet dude. Like apparently he's going to be
as that rumored, but he is the massive jet.
The rumor is he's that giant cargo jet thing that his toy was. So cool. I'm up for that. That's like a Titan class.
Fantastic.
That's a Titan class dude right there.
The other thing about unseen characters,
sorry,
is that in interviews, Stephen Cable Jr. said that the Decepticons and the Predacons are in the movie.
Oh,
Much
okay.
of a role
Thank you
that
for that.
plays.
There's
That is good to
Decepticons
know.
in this movie. Yeah,
That's good to know.
Like,
Thank you.
we don't know any of them, like which ones are present at all, but he has said explicitly, like, all 5 of these factions are present.
Oh, dude, that makes me thank you. I did not know that, so I'm actually really happy about that.
yeah.
I
So
mean, I
I've seen
assumed it, but I
cameos.
wasn't. Yeah. I
Might
don't
be
care.
cameos, but still, it's world building, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on a little bit.
No, we
from
haven't
those
done
beasts.
Daria's
Mikey-
prediction. Daria's prediction.
Sorry, Daria.
Oh, I wasn't sure I was going with actual predictions. I don't know I'm on board with Bumblebee not surviving the movie because they just keep putting him at the middle of everything, and I'm not sure they're prepared to potentially close their wallets for Bumblebee money
Maybe it's not that Bumblebee survived. Maybe Bumblebee doesn't survive the movie, but maybe Goldbug does.
Oh,
Actually, I
we have
was
just twice
disagreeing.
acknowledged Goldbug exists in toy form, and we used to just never speak of him. So there could be something in that.
I was disagreeing with Mikey beforehand. Like, I didn't think that he would die, but now we're looking at these final battle shots, and I'm realizing actually no, he isn't there.
Yeah, that's right.
But there'll be all these RIP Bumblebee sets. So in death he'll be like there'll be like all of these like there'll be Bumblebee in a coffin, and all these different exclusive versions.
There'll be the
get some greyed out
black
Bumblebee
and grey
repaints.
version. Yes,
the black and grey version of Bumblebee. There'll be more media.
sorry. Sleep mode Bumblebee.
Sleep mode Bumblebee.
Or alternate universe Bumblebee.
Oh god, yes, of course. Submarine mode Bumblebee. All the things.
The Bumble Gunner. All right, I do think we are done with the trailer now. We need to move on and talk about. There's a cool poster which I think we don't really need to speak to too much.
Oh, it's a cool slogo. Power
A cool
Prime,
slogo.
that's nice.
Yes, it is.
Slogo.
Good.
Sorry. It's late.
It is a little bit late.
And it will get later.
I do want to talk a little bit about the toys. We have seen Studio Series 99, which is Battle Trap on the right, and
Oh god,
Studio
99.
Yes, Studio
Yeah.
Series 1.
Oh my God.
is Bumblebee,
100.
which is very fitting since Studio Series 1 was Bumblebee and 100 is Bumblebee,
Yep.
and about every single one of them in between is also Bumblebee.
I was about to say probably 50 was Bumblebee, 25, 75 was Bumblebee as well.
Very likely, yes. However, we have got to look at these figures this week. They've been officially revealed by Hasbro, so for once we're not looking at Prime versus Prime's photos. They look pretty nice. I think the Bumblebee kind of looks like the sort of the Studio Series retool that we've been getting for years.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like
Yep.
it's just another Bumblebee. Face
looks
sculpt is
really
face
nice,
sculpt is
though.
nice. Apparently, it looks like the windows are a separate piece of plastic, so the doors are not actually painted clear plastic. So there's been a bit of sort of listening to customer feedback there. Got the stinger on the arm. It does look nice, but it just does look like sort of every other Bumblebee to me.
Yeah, it's
It also
obviously
has
the
a
newer
fake chest
design.
for those who
Yeah.
have an aneurysm over that.
Yeah. But it's a newer design of Bumblebee because he's got his stompers instead of those weird bay feet, and his arms are more akin to the
You're right. He does have the stomping boots, doesn't
the
he?
big the big boots that the movie Bumblebee does. As in the movie Bumblebee the movie. And he's got the arms are more akin to that design as well.
Yeah.
And
we're
that's
looking at,
another one that if you were so inclined, you could repurpose this guy as a Junkion, I'd say.
Definitely, yeah, I can see that.
I reckon you might be onto something there, and I wonder. We've seen that the legacy listings for 2023 have 3 deluxe Junkions and 1 Voyager Junkion. I do wonder whether the Voyager Junkion might be based on Battletrap.
But I do pray the Voyager one is a animated akin garbage truck. That'd be great.
I love the call out to Bernie's on the side of Battletrap.
Which that's really
cool.
sweet. Yeah, that is actually
nice.
a really nice callback. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, if you were wondering whether or not this guy's good or bad, the red windscreen and windows should answer the question for you. Let's be honest, it's quite a bright color scheme, and the color scheme is not one that we're used to seeing on bad guys. So, yeah, it's a bit of an interesting design choice there.
The bad guys in the live action movies have typically just been silver people made of knives.
Silver insect monster, knife monster.
Yeah.
It go blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
So it's like this dude has a distinct color scheme and
it's colorful.
Distinct design. Yeah, it's colorful, but he still looks evil.
Really,
but
really like that head design too.
Going back to the trailer, all of these robots have a distinct color. They're not all just silver. So you can actually tell who's who, which is awesome.
To be fair, that is, I think, an actual design choice that goes back to Age of Extinction, where we did get distinct colors for characters.
Those were a lot more colorful than the previous movies. I agree. Yeah.
Yes, they were. So yeah, I think I actually think it's interesting the color choice being an orange is not so far from yellow, and like when you put them side by side, you can see like this is a light color for these figures.
Here's a far out fan theory: Bumblebee dies and then gets resurrected as Battletrap. There you go, and that's why Battletrap's a zombie. They look so evil. That's my theory.
He is in the background of a scene where Bumblebee gets stabbed.
Oh, that's but there's time travel, so anything
wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
Exactly.
Like in Legopolis.
I think Battletrap is a toy that like I don't even collect this line anymore, but Battletrap looks like a toy worth getting.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. I do occasionally pick up non-86 Studio Series figures. I've got a couple from Bumblebee, and I might end up with a couple from this as well. We'll see how we go.
Yeah, and depending what kind of thoughts you have on this sort of thing, he could easily slot in with your non-movie bots if you wanted to.
Definitely a generation design to him, just more mechanical, which is fine.
Yeah. All right. So that I think is actually finally it for Rise of the Beast. We have spent a good amount of time on Rise of the Beast. Now it is time to talk about the other thing that the other trailer that came out this week and surprised us all this afternoon. It is the trailer for Transformers Reactivate, a new game coming to PC and consoles. And I say it surprised everyone because we'd heard going back about a year or so ago that there was a game called Transformers Rise that was in development from I can't remember the name. It was Critical something. I can't remember the name of all of these.
Critical Hit.
Certain Affinity.
Certain Affinity, Critical thing. Yes, Certain Affinity had a Transformers game in the offing. And then it went dormant. We had heard rumors of a line of toys referred to as Transformers Shine. And then there's, of course, a video game called Transformers Rise. Rise and Shine kind of go together. The Shine toy line seems to have disappeared, as apparently did the game. We also heard last week, there's been a number of high-profile leaks of a Transformers game of some kind. People have assumed it's an MMO, but it appears, according to the information that we got from Reactivate's launch today, that it's an up to 4-player online game. There's a great focus on humans in the trailer, and we don't actually see much of any Transformers until sort of the very end, when it appears that whatever the humans have been working on has woken up and looks at its hand, and apparently appears to be Bumblebee. There's a lot of we complain a lot about the humans. The humans in the Transformers movies, but the video game people may not have received that note yet, because not only are there humans front and center in this trailer, they're all CG humans as well.
I don't mind it because it's one of those teaser trailers, which is like my favorite kind of teaser trailer. Halo Infinite did like the best example of this a couple of years back, where it's showing you a lot of cool visuals, a lot of technical prowess, here's your cool graphics, vague little teasers of what's going on. And then, like 90% of the way through the video, you get a bam! Oh shit, that's what it is. It's this property. It's this franchise. And so it's sort of what they've done here. You have a bunch of different shots showing vague things, and when you're just watching through it for the first time, you don't pick up on anything Transformers related. And then it gets to the end, and you go, right.
There's a good reason you don't pick up on anything Transformers related. It's because there isn't anything Transformers related.
There is. It's basically Ratchet and Ironhide are in it, and that's it in vehicle mode.
Yeah. So
when?
So I'm assuming that there'll be a shot somewhere that shows in here. This thing here that is arriving is apparently the new bad guy for this game. It's called the Legion. Now it appears according to what we see in the trailer here, the Legion appears on Earth. They land. They start laying waste to things, and by the time we pick up the gameplay in the game, it seems that the Legion has won and has taken over the planet, and so you have to fight back against them. Now, there's a couple of things that we have heard. There's both Autobots and Decepticons playable in the game. Earth, like I said, looks pretty much destroyed. Like it appears that we might have both the Autobots and Decepticons teaming up to take out the bad guy, and
that's sorry. Do we want to talk about leaked cutscenes?
Sure, I haven't got them here, but certainly,
that's what's in the leaked cutscenes. Is they're on the same side.
Yeah, cool.
So, there you go.
And so the bad guy, and this ends up as kind of a deep cut into Transformers fandom, and it's such a deep cut that you have to wonder whether or not the guys making the game are actually aware of it. The bad guys appear to be called the Legion, and there's sort of swarms of them going on everywhere. And to be perfectly honest, this is kind of the point at which I check out a little bit in these games. Like, I don't really care about fighting some new no-name enemy that they've made up for the show. However, Transformers fans who are listening along this might have just gone, Legion? Really? Is that like we've seen a bad guy in Transformers fiction before called Legion, and it doesn't have the best history. Legion was the guy who looks like Megatron but is not Megatron, who is the bad guy with, I'm just going to say, the notable tongue design in the Transformers Kiss Player tie-in media. So there's a chance that we're looking at a Kiss Players game here.
Yeah, no.
The whole thing and the thing with Legion is that it is like Legion was spawned from Unicron. Like, I forget how exactly happened, but it's like Unicron's something or other spread into something or other and became Legion.
Unicron spread his
these
seed.
things.
I think they were his antibodies.
Stop it. But the Legion designs here do look kind of like, glowy red and black. Like,
there's not a lot of good looks at them in the screenshot here, but I do also have this pic here that does sort of show the glowy red stuff and things all over the place.
I mean, to be fair, Legion is a pretty popular stock bad guy name. We'll give them that at least.
That's true.
Yeah, it could just be you need a enemy to fight.
Do you know what I'm gonna throw out a really long. I'm gonna draw a really long bow here. You can see the giant machine in the background of this, right? It's landed. It's dwarfing a city, and it's got these two legs sort of like extending out on either side of it. Don't those legs look kind of like the thing that we just saw in Wakanda at the end of the Rise of the Beasts trailer?
Actually, I was
Does
thinking that
doesn't
too.
it?
Ooh.
And those guys there in the background look kind of spindly.
Skinny and spindly like the.
It's time for a bit of brand synergy.
Maybe this
I mean,
like the
maybe
Scarface game.
there's-
It's a what if the movie turned out differently game.
Yeah.
The other-
maybe we're looking at something that is not as unrelated to the franchise as we like to sort of make out.
The other thing is, there's the "Are All Dead" logo there, which not logo,
That's
the
pretty good.
reference
That's
there.
actually, that's actually why I've got this up there. That's a nice little Easter egg there. And it does show, I think, that some of the artists and the people working on the game are well aware of the history of the franchise.
But not
But
well
the other
aware of
thing
how
is,
big the Statue of Liberty's head is, because she's huge there compared to the real head.
The thing is, in one of Elite cutscenes, it has Starscream begrudgingly working with the Autobots, and his internal monologue is him saying, I don't trust Shockwave. I think Shockwave's up to something. So, maybe this could
Shockwave's
be a
always
complete
up to
stretch.
something.
But
Look,
that could be maybe he's involved with all of this Legion.
Shockwave's the main villain confirmed, which doesn't surprise me, because if we look at the history of Shockwave, he's either the extremely loyal guy in G1, or in all the other media, he's the guy that does his own goes his own way.
What's the
and
problem with Senator Shockwave?
yeah, look, he's just the only.
He's an honest politician.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah,
It's a great.
yeah.
I'm saying he's a great character, but he's usually up to his own dastardly deeds. And
Can I just point out this? So this is a close up of a post. There's a lot of stuff. This is this city is pretty fucked, right?
oh,
It's proper fucked. The buildings are disintegrating. Bad shit is happening here. But can I just go this street lamp? This street lamp is still standing strong as a testament to strong civic construction.
Dave actually brings up a good point. He says those snake-like things remind him of the dweller/driller from Dark of the Moon. So these could be Shockwave's pets going around and mucking about the city as well. So it could be Shockwave.
It is also notable that these glowing things also appear to be in the head of the Statue of Liberty as well.
Yeah, they're like little tendrils or snakes or something.
Yeah.
Where
and in fact that Are All Dead could well be a hidden pointer to Shockwave as well.
To Shockwave,
He's the one who wrote that in the Marvel comics.
Yeah, he's the one that killed everyone, isn't he? So where have we seen Ratchet and Ironhide?
If you go back,
Ratchet's in this shot,
that's
apparently.
Ratchet.
Yeah.
That's matches up with a leaked model of Ratchet.
He dead?
So if you go back to the earlier screenshots, there's Bumblebee's point of view, and we know this is Bumblebee driving. So we know this is Bumblebee because it's Bumblebee's leaked alt mode. I did some Googling this afternoon if you couldn't tell. That's Bumblebee.
Yeah.
And then if you go back a bit, the screenshots here don't show it super clearly. So these two here, if you go left, because this is before the reveal of the trailer that it's a Transformers game. Because you don't find out it's a Transformers game until the end. But this is clearly Bumblebee. And then these two here, this is the same model of truck, except one is, it's not shown too clearly here, but the one on the left is a deep, consistent red color, and the other one is painted like an ambulance. There's Ratchet and Ironhide.
So I just thought they were just random cars with guns, but yeah, they're Transformers. Cool.
Yeah.
Very good.
It's interesting.
It is early days for this game. As I said, this game was handed over from Certain Affinity to Splash Damage. And as we've been seeing a few things go around, like Splash Damage is not a company that's known for sort of working on their own stuff. They are kind of known to be a sort of a pick up the pieces and try to salvage something or make an add-on to an existing engine company. So like there's been a bit of discussion going around from people saying like, yeah, maybe just temper your expectations a bit. It might, you know, it's a big stab. It's going to take a big swing at the Transformers IP, and whether it's successful or not, we don't really know yet. We've got a 2-minute trailer that doesn't really have much to do with an actual Transformers in it. But we'll see what happens. It does appear over the course of the trailer that the humans are trying to reactivate, which is the name of the game, trying to reactivate Transformers. Maybe they were taken out in Legion's initial attack. Whether or not we're saying that the reactivation of those Transformers is their original selves, or if it's actually like humans taking over those Transformers forms or something, we'll see.
It's the tagline in one of the taglines of the game is like, "Our last hope is the Autobots pulled from the rubble." Like,
so where are you getting all this stuff from, Max?
This is on the TFW thing.
Yeah, there's actually been rather a lot of stuff released about the game in the last few weeks leading up to this. No one was really expecting
10 million leaks
today. Yeah. No one was expecting this trailer to drop today. Everyone's sort of expected that the game was dead and buried, and so that's why people have been leaking stuff about it, trying to drum up or salvage a bit of interest in it. And then the trailer came out today. I was like, oh, okay, well that's real.
Do we have a release date?
There's a beta next year, and that's all we know.
Mm-hmm. Oh well, as now that I know that those other trucks that were firing guns are Transformers, and that should have made sense because, like, I guess from the point of view of the one that we were, the point of view of the car that we had was a Transformer as well. That does make sense. So we've got Bumblebee being reactivated. We've got Ironhide Ratchet confirmed. Yeah, and now we're all thinking that maybe Mr. Shockwave is the main villain, which I'm all up for.
Yeah. We'll see how we go. It will be interesting to see whether or not there's actually a sort of a greater tie-in with some other aspects of the franchise as well. We'll see.
Yeah, it definitely looks like its own continuity, like not related to anything else.
It does. So the shots at the beginning, sort of the Legion ships sort of landing and immediately sort of taking over. They actually called to mind some of the initial Decepticon takeovers from All Hail Megatron, and so like especially I think because it's showing like Times Square in New York, like, you know, it's a bit of an iconic thing to be sort of brought underfoot from Aliens.
And they decapitated the Statue of Liberty. Those
just like any good Cloverfield movie,
just like any good disaster movie, they destroy the hell out of the Statue of Liberty.
That's true. Let's move on. Transformers Reactivate it's a while away. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to come.
Gets a thumbs up from me.
Excellent. Does it get a thumbs up from everyone else?
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Let's get back to some regular news. We have a few brief news snippets to round us out for the night. Those busy beavers over at TFW have been busy drilling into stock listings and Walmart and Target computer systems, and they have come up with Project Bear. We know that for the collaboratives, Hasbro tends to give them a Project something codename. Maverick was Project Cruise, Draculus was Project Bat, Tonkinator, Project Yellow, things like that. So Project Bear coming at some point in 2023. Everyone, would you like to start your speculation engines with what Project Bear might be?
Well, there is a Bear movie out next year.
Yeah, so Cocaine Bear would be an interesting
movies.
Collaborative. Yeah,
2 Bear movies. There's Pooh, Blood and Honey as well. So
sorry,
what's going on next year?
Sorry, so go back to that. Did you say Blood and Honey?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Pooh, Blood and Honey, a horror movies featuring the Winnie the Pooh and Piglet.
Yes, Emil,
Christopher
love
Robin.
characters.
Because it's in the public domain now.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so this
Yeah.
might be a thing for that as well. So the best thing would be like a nice, cuddly, cute-looking Winnie the Pooh that transforms into like a serial killer bear type thing. That'd be like the best crossover. I reckon.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Just hang on a second.
Mm.
Hang on. I need to.
It's called
This
Pooh,
is just,
Pooh,
Blood and Honey.
Right.
plus horrible name for a movie as well.
I'm sorry, but have you seen the poster for this?
That's it.
What the hell is going on?
That's Pooh, Blood and Honey. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Oh my!
it's a bit much, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not confirmed that like I don't know if it's like dudes in a mask or apparently it's actually the characters of Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. You know, apparently what happened was the vague things that we know about it is Pooh and Piglet went rogue and they actually ate Eeyore alive, and then they've just been terrorizing the what are the woods called, the 100-acre woods or whatever, and then Christopher Robin comes back after years of neglecting them, and then they take Pooh and Piglet take their revenge on him and his many girlfriends that he brings to the house. But
Wow.
it's just a slasher film where, you know, there's the girls in bikinis getting hacked up and
Do you know what?
by-
In all honesty, I'm really sorry that I actually asked for that.
yeah. So that's exactly what this crossover will be. Project Bear will be Pooh from Blood and Honey.
Wow.
Yeah, we've all learned something good tonight. Yeah.
So I'm gonna throw in a guess from the complete opposite end of the spectrum, which is Hasbro also owns Care Bears.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that
those still a thing?
the repaint potential on that, they just make one Care Bear. They could just repaint the hell out of that. So that's a great one to do.
but who does it transform into? Because that sort of has, like, does it transform into a new character or does it transform into an existing character?
Interesting. Maybe like
I mean,
mini
it's not
bots
like the
or-
collaboratives have been existing characters.
Yeah, but like maybe they turn into like what would they turn into? Cars? Maybe like the bears will turn into cars, maybe something like that. I don't know.
Look. Actually, you know. Also, I had a couple of other thoughts. I thought that there could be a sports team collaborative going on because bears are often you know, mascots for sports teams. So I
The
thought
Chicago
maybe
Bears or something. I don't know if that's
Maybe.
real.
Maybe, yeah.
There's no bears in NRL at the moment. That'd be the they don't exist in the NRL at the moment, so it wouldn't be that.
We'll see. Yeah. So yeah, Project Bear. Sometime in the next year, we will see what comes out. One thing I do know is that very quickly after these things are revealed or leaked out, they do tend to get released pretty fast. The collaborative. So something tells me that we might see Project Bear sooner rather than later.
Sorry.
Can we see it later rather than sooner?
What were you saying?
Rob Franklin's car bears instead of Care Bears.
Car Bears. Maybe. It's also worth remembering that we're now actually seeing collaboratives that involve Transformers from other franchises as well. Like we've got the Magic the Gathering cards with the Secret Lair and Transformers and Shattered Glass figures in there. So like, I think the fact that this is Tra-Gen is very, very firmly in the wheelhouse of being an actual Transformers figure. But you know, it could well be a collaborative from the other side as well.
Speaking of those Magic the Gathering cards, apparently the original versions of the Shattered Glass Magic the Gathering cards go for as much as the actual Shattered Glass figures, apparently. Like those original figures. They're apparently ridiculously expensive.
There's quite a desire for them, and I think the Shattered Glass cards are quite rare.
Yeah, apparently you can't find them, and they cost us like a Shattered Glass Prime will cost you into like 500s. So like one of these cards probably costs the same, which is amazing to me.
Yeah.
Card collecting is an unhinged hobby.
Yeah. We're going to go from Project Bear. We're going to stick with some of the leaked listings. Couple of suggestions are that 2023 or 2024 we're going to see Transformers Animated Optimus, Beast Wars Tigerhawk, and Silverbolt. This comes from listings that seem to indicate so Transformers Generations Legacy Uni something, which Evolution is the subline for year 2. So the thought is that Uni might be year 3 as well.
Universe.
Yeah,
United.
could be
United,
could be
yeah.
United, yep. So
Unicycle.
look, I think if it's not, I think it's sad. I'd like to see Transformers Legacy Unicycle. I think that could be a very compelling line. But yeah. So yeah, there's a few listings there. We're looking at Leader Beast Wars Tigerhawk, Leader G1 Sandstorm, Cyber Starscream, whether we're looking at Cyberverse or Cyberjet.
Oh, Cybertron, come on. Has to be Cybertron.
Cybertron, does it? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I guess
He was a very distinctive model.
Yeah.
I reckon it'd be Cybertron.
Prime Thundertron, Animated Optimus Prime, Beast Wars Silverbolt. And another one that's a little bit out of left field for this listing, Leader G2 Grimlock. Now that does actually indicate a potential reuse of the Studio Series Dinobots molds. So yeah, could be pretty cool.
What's the capsule part?
Capsules are sort of an enclosed subline. Like you could say that the Velocitron line is a capsule.
Sorry, maybe it's like a oh god, what was that planet called? So we've had Velocitron. Maybe Grimlock comes from
the G2 planet. Yes,
the Beast planet. What's the Beast? The Beast planet's got a name, but I just don't know what the name is.
Animus,
Animatron, maybe.
And it was like I think it was Animus in like one different piece of fiction.
I reckon we might have that. It'll be a Beast planet because we've had the Speed planet, so we've had the Car planet. So I reckon we'll have the Beast planet and G2 Grimlock will kick it off.
Maybe it's very possible. We don't know what a lot of these things are. They're listings that have turned up and been found and discovered in various systems by various people in the fandom. One of the other items that has been shown, which is actually a leaked figure that's come out, is Legacy Medics. Now, this figure looks like a repaint of Crankcase. Medics is a character from the Rescue Bots continuity. We know that Legacy's going to throw in characters from different continuities. I actually think this looks really good.
It's gorgeous.
I really love the bright primary colors on the color schemes because like all the uses that we've had of this mold so far, we've had like Skids Burnout and Crankcase. They're all sort of very sort of dark and grungy. This is really nice.
They were blue, black, and blue and black.
That's right.
Well, do you know what's cool about this, right? This is our first ever Generations Rescue Bot.
That's right. Yeah.
Medics is a Rescue Bot, original character. So if we could see like Heatwave and Chase, oh god, Blades, what's the last one?
I think
Older.
Blur is technically a different character.
Yeah, he's a different guy. Yeah, I'm rewatching Rescue Bots along with Stasis Pod at the moment.
Yeah, so... and it's Rescue Bots is an amazing show, and to get actual, that toy line is targeted to kids, and it's an amazing toy line that helps kids learn like gross motor skills, which is great. But we don't really have any collector focused toys until now, and now we have a really cool character represented in Generations, which is awesome.
Can I just point out for people keeping count at home, there is indeed a light bar on the top of the vehicle.
Do we take a drink?
Pretty sure that some of the weapons seem to have come in from other figures, but yeah, it looks really nice. There is a thought, although obviously it's a leaked figure. It's come from the factory reject pile or whatever. However, it's turned out. But the fact that it's sort of so far along in production would probably indicate that it's coming sooner rather than later. And there's a thought that this could be a Walgreens exclusive, and the Walgreens exclusivity is I think it's a leap on the part of the community, but it's also based on the fact that at one of the recent conventions, the Hasbro guys were talking about the kind of figures that they make Walgreens exclusives, and they did draw a line that I don't think people really actually figured out before, which is that the Walgreens figures all seem to be emergency vehicles, mostly medically related, and because Walgreens is a pharmacy.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I thought everyone knew that.
No. Like a lot of people don't necessarily understand the link of things. Like, so out of the Walgreens exclusive figures, since War for Cybertron, we've had Ratchet. So Blue Streak kind of doesn't fit the mold.
Before that, we had Brainstorm too. So your mileage may vary as to whether he counts as any kind of doctor.
That's true. But he's a mad doctor. And we've had Red Alert, which does fit the emergency vehicle mold. And we've had Minerva, who also definitely fits the emergency vehicle mold as well. So like maybe it's a theme that they're intending to stick more to. And so Medics fits in with that theme if that's the established theme for these characters.
That's really weird.
Yeah, so most of, if not all of them, have been rescue vehicles or ambulances and stuff. So that's funny.
Since War for Cybertron, yeah.
Well, that means the rescue bots are prime. Forgive the pun.
Yeah, all of them could be exclusives, and everyone will hate it.
Yeah. That is it. That is it for news. We are well into a long running show because it is our last one for the year, and we have been off the air for a month. So I'm not really too averse for things running long. Does anyone have any other news that they wanted to talk about before we sort of move on from the news cycle? I feel like it's been a month, so there's plenty of scope for things that we didn't necessarily put into the run sheet. If there's something that's come out that you want to talk about.
I'm sure I've forgotten something, but it'll come in 5 minutes after the show's done. I'm sure.
Very good.
No, I'm glad we talked about the leaks because I did want to. I mean, those are all pretty much bought from me. I think they look great.
Yeah, as I'm reading through them, you just bought this.
Bought.
Have we?
There was only like 2 that I didn't.
Have we talked about Earthspark on the show?
No,
we
not yet.
haven't. So Earthspark's not. So while a lot of people have seen all of Earthspark's not officially all available in Australia yet. There's, I think, 3 episodes still to come. Mikey and I checked this on Paramount Plus tonight at dinner. They're up to episode 7 in Australia. So we're gonna hold off on the Earthspark discussion until all the episodes are available officially in Australia, which will of course mean 2023 for us. So we'll have a bit of a deep dive into Earthspark next year. But I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I love it.
Same.
Yeah, it's been a real pleasant surprise.
It has.
Oh, and just I was telling Jason this today. 2023 is going back to the golden age of Transformers because we've got a great TV show, we've got a video game coming, and we've got a great looking movie coming. So we're all 3 major, and we've got a great toy line. We've got tons of great toy lines, out. So there's never been a better time, in my opinion, than 2023 to be a Transformers fan. Everything's covered. So
we know from talking to Hasbro as well that the Transformers brand is in ascendance in perception and popularity, and so like 2023 could be just a gangbusters year for the franchise. Like, I mean, movie, cartoon, toys, everything's lined up to kick a lot of goals next year.
And as you said, the Transformers Rise of the Beast trailer has had the most views of any Paramount project ever. Yeah, so it shows people are you. Yeah, and I'm probably going to go off and watch something after this. But it just shows people are hungry for this. And I look at all the comments for the videos. Oh, I've been waiting so long. Bumblebee was so good. We want more. We've been waiting 4 years.
Yeah,
4 years.
5.
Even 5 since exactly 5.
5 years between drinks for Transformers on the big screen.
God.
Like, we were saying at the time that Last Night came out, maybe they need to rest the franchise for a while. Suddenly it's been 5 years between movies. Like two of those years kind of don't count because of COVID, but suddenly it's been 5 years between movies. Yeah, I'm ready for a big screen Transformers movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like even if it's bad, and I don't think it's going to be based on what we've seen, but even if it's bad, it's gonna be fun. Like by definition,
and it's going to make billions of dollars. It's going to make lots of money for the franchise. So, the bad movies made lots of money still. So,
Yeah, this was a thing that kept popping up during the heyday of the Michael Bay quintet. It was like, people said, why do they keep making these movies like this? And the answer was because people keep paying money and going to see them.
Mm.
Yeah.
So someone out there likes them, or at the very least is watching them.
Yeah, but by the end of sort of the Michael Bay quintet, I think you said, like the Last Night sort of was a bit of an exercise in, well, actually, we probably shouldn't have spent so much money on this film because less people are coming to see it. And yeah, the appetite for a reboot is definitely there. The potential for a separate Transformers universe, I think, is also you can hang off the way that Marvel has introduced the concept of multiverses and the like to cinema going audiences, and I think people have room in their brains and in their hearts for multiple versions of their franchises now. If this is actually a separate universe to the rest of the Bayverse stuff, then so be it.
And believe it or
Transformers has been doing the multiple universe thing since the beginning. Like it was so Transformers having a whole multiverse thing predates, I think, even like the DC multiverse, which is the first real one to get it off. Like Transformers predates that in terms of splitting timelines and all of that stuff.
And believe it or not, there are people that love every single Transformers movie, even the so-called Last Night. Was it one that you said? I don't remember that.
Yeah, it slips my mind.
Yeah, but there are people that love every single one of them and they don't give a shit. They just want to go. Most of these people want to go turn their mind off and look at some awesome robots transforming. And the best thing is, I think I was listening to Triple Takeover, and I think it was let's say it was 6-0. He said, no matter how bad the movie is, there's still enjoyable moments. You go watch any of these characters transform, and it is something that you will not see in any other movie, and it's just amazing every single time, no matter who it is. And from that first movie in 2007, that opening scene where Blackout transforms turned thousands upon thousands of people into Transformers fans just from that one scene. And Michael Bay, we have to thank Michael Bay for that, because he has brought so many people from any age. I have a friend in Sweden who knew nothing about Transformers, went and saw the first movie, saw Blackout transform, and he's just like, okay, I'm in. And now he's a dedicated collector, $1,000 collection, all that type of stuff. So these movies have been amazing for making Transformers such a cult classic and a phenomenon. And it's just we've got to thank Michael Bay at some point, because he's saved the franchise from when, before 2007 it wasn't going anywhere, and after his movie everyone knows who Transformers is and everyone wants more Transformers.
Absolutely.
So,
I think the impact of the movies is often underplayed by fans who would prefer to complain about them. I do want to draw attention to the comment from David. I might have room in my brain and my heart for the multiverse, but my collection shelves do not.
Yeah. Likewise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's bring the news discussion to a bit of a close. It is time for us to talk about new things that have arrived in our collections this week or this month, in fact, because it has been a while between shows. Mikey, do you want to kick us off?
I'll kick us off. Okay, so
I'm gonna get you to kick us off, because we did talk about Max's acquisition a long time at the start of the show.
Yeah.
I have spoken at length.
And he was mine as well, and I haven't opened him yet. So I'll probably give him... Oh, hello. I'll give more of a thought on him next year when we have our new show. Okay, so for the most disappointing one, first we have, I just got yesterday, Dead End. Now, Dead End is my favorite Stunticon, and pretty much probably everyone's favorite Stunticon from that one episode where, like, they're just like Menosaur was just like, oh shit, there's a fight happening down there, and Dead End's like, who cares? Like, it's just we're up here, we don't have anything to do with it. And then I think Murder Master's just like, oh, if Starscream gets in command, that's probably a bad thing. He's just like, oh yeah, you're right, and then they combine and they have that massive battle, which is awesome. This guy is cool in concept, but he just doesn't work. The main problem is the legs. So if you look at this, that's the best I can do in vehicle mode. That's pretty disappointing. This should be firmly together like that, and it will not go. So anyway, see that massive gap in the back there? That's not good enough for a $40 figure. Let's be honest. And then when you have him in robot mode, the transformation for the upper body, amazing, perfect, good on you. The lower body, shit, and garbage. And it sucks because I love.
So it's a
this
vehicle of
mode.
two halves.
Literally, because I can't really do it. No, can I? No, I can't. It does split in half because it is the arm. But you're paying $40 and that's what you get.
Yeah, that's a bit weak.
It's crap. So it's a cool toy in concept, but the execution, crap. So that's very disappointing. I hope Breakdown is better. To something that I adore, and I got on the sale, Scourge.
Oh, very nice.
I highly recommend everyone pick this up because he's going to be popular because he's the main antagonist of the movie. Although this will be a much different character, it's still Scourge. The trailer, I thought the trailer was crap when I looked at it in reviews and stuff. The trailer's amazing and it's so much fun, and it's cool. It's worth the leader price. Scourge himself, the Laser Prime mold, is amazing. And I got him for $60, so you can't complain. There's literally no room for complaint there. Truck mode looks amazing. Robot mode looks great. This guy is not staying as Scourge. I'm getting one of my customizing mates to turn him into a character that I do not think we're going to get a version of, unfortunately, even though it's the easiest, like, other than Laser Prime and Scourge, and I guess Ultra Magnus, because this guy was also Ultra Magnus. The easiest repaint would be Toxitron, because the original Toxitron is a lime green and yellow repaint of this guy. And Toxitron is a really cool, obscure character that I love, and he has pretty much zero toys. So I'm going to get one of my mates I'm going to commission him to customize this basically lime green and yellow, and I'll have a leader class Toxitron. So that's
You'll have a leader class Pina Colada. I know Pina Coladas are generally pink, actually, but yeah. No, I was thinking of Splice ice creams.
Jason, I don't know what you're talking
Good
about.
old green
But anyway.
and yellow. I don't know. You know what? It's very late.
It is. And then one of the figures of the year, in my opinion, before I have the last two figures that I haven't opened, is
How many figures of the year have you got tonight?
I know. Well, no. Well, none of these. None of them so far. But this guy, Beast Wars Inferno, he is bloody awesome. Transformation's fun. Posability great. He's even got a opening and closing mouth, which is really cool. So he can praise Megatron as his queen, as he should.
Him I want to pick up because I'm getting Predacons.
Yeah, he's the transformation is actually really fun, intuitive. Some things happen that you don't expect, and it's great. He's got his giant butt propeller that actually spins. So this thing spins like it does in the show. The ant mode is pincers actually are articulated.
A lot going for this.
It's a great toy. It's probably worth the $55 in my opinion. I love it. It's gonna look great with in my Predacon shelf, and it's very close to figure of the year for me. And then just to round it up, today I other than Victory Saber that I picked up off Jason, I also picked up Shattered Glass Slicer and Exosuit because I love the comics and I've been reading the comics.
How good is that new run? It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one.
I haven't actually finished the first run of Shattered Glass, so
you might have missed your opportunity to get covers of the other ones.
Oh no, I've got the first run, all the covers that I want. I just haven't read them.
Oh, but like for part 2, which is these guys.
Yeah.
So this is good. So this is 2 deluxes. So I think it was like $70 or $80. Not bad. Actually pretty good considering the cost of a deluxe today. It's just Wheeljack painted up as Slicer. Weird thing is now, I don't know, Max, if you can confirm or deny this. In the comic, I haven't read up to this point. I don't know if it's a spoiler or not, so I don't know. But he's an Autobot in the comic, and yet he's packaged as a Decepticon.
I'm trying to remember the exact details, but it's like because of it's who Wheeljack is and isn't in Shattered Glass has like flipped in between entries, and it's been like a mixture of Wheeljack being redecorated into Slicer versus being a redeco of like Armada Wheeljack because that was based on Sideswipe, but then Armada, but in Sideswipe, his Armada design was used in Shattered Glass, but Wheeljack's Armada design was used in Shattered Glass, but that design was based on Sideswipe, so it's like it's this weird revolving thing of the different designs of who, like, I can't remember how it goes because it is changed like literally half a dozen times who the hell Shattered Glass Slicer / Wheeljack is. So currently this design in the current run of comics is an Autobot called Slicer, but he's positioned as Wheeljack.
Basically they're just in the current comics. They're not really addressing it. They're just saying, this is evil Autobot Slicer, and as Max says, you're just kind of going with, in this universe, Wheeljack is called Slicer because shut up, that's why. Because there's a toy called Slicer on the shelf.
So I guess because in the comics,
this is a Decepticon.
Evil Autobot. Yeah, he's a Decepticon, heroic Decepticon.
But so does he have a red Decepticon faction symbol?
Yes,
Actually,
so I guess
he has a purple Decepticon symbol.
No, it's red. I think it's red. Yeah, because Exosuit is red.
I'm the one who's actually got one out of the box.
It's red.
Exosuit is red. That is not.
Really?
Don't tell me you've got 2 different colors.
No, I just think no. So there's not a lot of light in the box. And I don't think Mikey's seeing clearly.
Put my light on here.
Okay, so it is in the comics.
Yeah, it is purple.
All right. So in the comics, this is Slicer, who is Shattered Glass Autobot Wheeljack, but the toy is branded under Shattered Glass, but is a toy of Action Master Decepticon Slicer. Is that where we're at?
It's true.
Yeah.
Look, the
Hasbro basically said you can use him as either.
Yeah. The Shattered Glass line has been pulling double duty this year. We're getting figures from other continuities pulled into the Shattered Glass line. One of the reasons we're getting this is because we know that retailers are not very fond of Gen Select. So the Gen Select line has really taken a back seat, and the Shattered Glass line has been a good opportunity to sort of do some repaints and re-releases of figures. As I mentioned, I've got Slicer here. It's really nice. I actually don't have a Wheeljack, but I do have an exhaust, and so it's a very welcome revisit of that mold for me.
And then finally, Flame War. That's it from me.
And
again, this is another one that can be. This is another one can be repurposed into just a into your generations line as a Decepticon Flame War. You can just say her symbol's red because she's red, I guess. But yeah, for me, she's going to be a Shattered Glass figure. And I've always loved the character of Flame War. am I right in thinking this girl is a figure that was made for BotCon but designed by a fan? Was he Australian?
No, I don't think so.
No. Okay, I thought he was
Forgot
Australian.
about
But yeah, this character was designed by a fan, and that's really cool. So, and it's just a really cool design. It's just it's a chick with flames turns into a motorbike, has a pterodactyl that can be an axe or a crossbow, and I think this mold probably
Craig
suits it better
points
than
out the
Aussie.
Flame War was designed by Benson Yee.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to work out.
Yeah, and that's all from me.
Very nice.
nice.
Got a couple of acquisitions to go through. I also have Flame War and Slicer. I'm gonna hold up the exosuit. There, the exosuit is very red. I've got a poor choice of red background lighting, so you may lose the exosuit in the background lighting. I like it. It's a cool color. The exosuit. There's some debate among fans as to whether or not exosuit counts as a transformer, because exosuit does not have a. Oh no. Oh, fair enough.
I don't think he does.
I was going to say exosuit does not have a faction symbol on him, but he does. He's also not packaged as a transformer. He's packaged as a bag full of accessories.
Accessories, yeah.
So,
Is he in the tissue paper?
He's
Yeah.
in the tissue paper.
You've got a deluxe class in tissue paper.
Yeah, he's
amazing.
He's in the tissue paper in multiple pieces. I think in like 6 different pieces all wrapped up. So
That's unhinged. That's fantastic.
the box for Slicer and the box for Flame War are not quite Voyager size. They're sort of like Deluxe Plus. So getting 2 deluxes into the one box requires a little bit of work from Hasbro. Flame War is easier because it's a deluxe plus a Battle Master, and also it's a small deluxe as well. As far as my acquisitions go, I've got Slicer and I've got Flame War. I haven't opened Flame War yet. Obviously, I've opened Slicer. Haven't opened Flame War yet. Gonna open Flame War probably over the weekend. I think Mikey. Last show we had on. I think you pulled out Shatterglass Soundwave.
Nope, I've still got one coming from my source.
Fair enough. Someone pulled out a Shatterglass Soundwave recently. Might have been on one of the video calls.
It was on one of the weekly TCCA chats.
Yeah. I've gotten myself a Shatterglass Soundwave that I got from one of the. I think it was the Gamesman. So Shatterglass Soundwave, very expensive. It's a Voyager plus a couple of Battle Masters. For some reason, it's $120 plus. But you can get it at a little bit like 20-25% off, which does bring its price down to I think in this case it was a more palatable $85 or $87. Which is kind of fair for a Voyager plus a couple of Battle Masters. Let's ignore the fact that the exact same configuration was $50 at Kmart last year. Happy with a Shatterglass Soundwave on my desk, and I have also picked up this dude, the Autobot Constructicon repaint of Tonkanator, which is the Transformers Tonka collaborative. I haven't opened it yet. I'm not sure I'm gonna open it. I know several people who've acquired this set and are displaying it in box because it just looks really cool.
It is good. From what I saw today of yours, it's pretty gorgeous.
It's really nice. It is not a cheap thing, being a reissue of a G1. The reissued G1 characters have all been quite expensive recently. There was a Devastator gift set reissued a few years ago that was quite expensive. This is also quite expensive. I think it was well over $200 for me.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Well over 200. But it's also not coming to Australia, which is like Slicer and Flame War. So if you get a chance to pick up Slicer and Flame War, do pick them up. They're really nice figures. If you get a chance to pick up Tonkanator and you want him, like take the chance because he ain't coming here either.
I will say, could Hasbro please start including us in some of these things? You know, it's just.
Like Hasbro's done a pretty good job with us, but they can't get everything. And it sounds like I'm being a bit of an apologist, and like in a way I am, but I think it's disappointing given the veracity with which we consume Transformers in Australian retail. I do think it's disappointing that some figures they can't seem to find their way here.
Well, the Tonkinnator, fair enough, because it's it's a weird exclusive collab thing, but the fact that we have 3 of the 5 Shattered Glass sets coming to JB Hi-Fi, EB Games, whatever, etc., and yet the last 2 you're lucky to find.
Yeah.
If not, that's pretty disappointing.
I see your point, but I also think that their price point is unusual, and that might be why they're not coming here because they're combo packs instead of a straight up deluxe or a Voyager. So yeah, I don't know. I also think it's not like we've reacted nicely to the price of Shattered Glass Soundwave. So yeah.
Yes, the unwarranted price. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yep, there we go. That's my acquisitions for the the last episode of the year as well. So I think we're about done. Does anyone have stuff that they want to add? Is there anything that you're looking forward to over the holiday break?
Christmas ham.
A break. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't get a holiday break. I'm working all through, so fun times.
So you will still be looking forward to that break when we come back in the new year.
Yeah, that will be my break when we come back. So
fair enough too. All right, look, I think at that point we've run over a couple of hours. We've given people a nice lot of stuff to listen to over the Christmas break. So thank you everyone for sticking with us. A bunch of people have stuck with us over on the live stream. Thank you for sticking with us, listening out over the podcast as well. Just a reminder, you can watch us and see what we're talking about on our YouTube channel, and to find out more about these stories, you'll find links to them all and more in the show notes. You can contact each of us. We're all in Transformers Collectors Club Australia on Facebook. The official site for the podcast is transformersweekly.podbean.com, and we do have a Facebook page for the podcast. It's called Australian Transformers Weekly, funnily enough. If you're not already subscribed, you can find the podcast on your podcatcher of choice. The RSS feed link is on the website and in the show notes. We are a production of Transformers Collectors Club Australia. We're a registered club in Victoria run by volunteers donating their time, effort, energy and money to make collecting in Australia better for everyone. TCCA wants to build and support the Australian Transformers collecting community by engaging fans around the country. We make content like this podcast. We attend live in-person events like Oz Comic Con. We run Australia's largest Transformers discussion and sales communities. That's our Facebook groups. You can find out more information about the club, benefits of membership, and how to show your support for what we do at transformerscca.com. That is it from us. We will be back with more Transformers news soon. It will be into the new year. It's not going to be straight after the new year because I'm not coming back from the UK for a while. And let's be honest, January and February is going to be a bit turbulent, but we will do podcasts where we can, and then we will regroup once the turbulence of the new year is over. So thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for watching along with us. Thanks for being with us throughout the year. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you observe, and I hope you do have a lovely time and get to hang out with your family and enjoy their company and family and friends over the holiday period.
Agreed.
The same.
And that is it. Farewell, and we'll see you next year.
Thanks, guys.
Easy.
Happy New Year.